And I go in there, and basically I stand there for 10 minutes without anyone talking to me because no one's working the front. Nobody. And I just like, okay. And I just eventually just yelled something to the cooks. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jericho, and this is Zap, and we're the now 8-time international award-winning pop hip-hop duo Band of Future. We make music that's funny. No. Huh? We make clean, fun music that's easy for everyone to listen to with a sound that's uniquely Californian. And right now, you're tuned into the Life of Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and just straight ridiculous. So before we get into this thing, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with at least 2 people that knew that the wage increase for fast food workers was a bad idea. I'm telling you right now, it was a bad idea, and I have proof with numbers, with personal experiences. One thing, okay, so I didn't actually know this. I thought it went into effect January 1st, but actually went into effect April 1st. Yeah, so there's less data on the effect of it, but I have already
There's enough data, I know that.
Huh?
There's enough data, I know that.
Yeah. So I got some numbers, and I got a couple of personal experiences. But I'll go to you first. Have you noticed anything tangible or had any experiences that kind of like
noticed? A Whopper from Burger King is $8. I think I mentioned this before. Like I remember when the Whopper first came out at Burger King, it was 99 cents.
Accurate.
It's now $8 just for the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
No fries, no drink. $8 is where we start, and then it goes up. I'm furious.
So yes, increased prices everywhere across the board. And I had a couple of eye-opening experiences just last week.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
I went to a Korean restaurant because I like me some Korean food, and I wanted a bulgogi bowl, just beef and rice. It is literally beef, rice, and some onions. And give you a couple of sides right now. I slide in there. I felt like that joke from Cat Williams. Remember how you used to just give $20 at the pump and said, here, you know, and then walk away?
If you had $10, $15, you could go to the gas station with confidence because you knew you was either going to be full or damn near full. If you had a 20, you ain't even talk to the person at the counter. You just 20 on the left.
I walk in like, I know how much a bulgogi bowl costs. I've had these before. And I didn't even look at the price. I just ordered it. Confident. Here's my card. Confident. I look at that thing, man. $27.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Don't you like rice?
$27 without the tip. Okay. So I was very sad. I was very sad. And I ate it, and it did not taste like a $27 bulgogi bowl. It tasted like a $12 bulgogi bowl, one that I came to know and love. That sucked a lot.
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
What is happening, of course, is that since wages are increasing, owners of these franchises are laying people off or giving them less hours, something like that, right? So I go to The Habit, which I don't go to fast food too much, but I do enjoy The Habit. I think they got good stuff. And I go in there, and basically I stand there for 10 minutes without anyone talking to me because no one's working the front. Nobody. And I just like, okay. And I just eventually just yelled something to the cooks.
Y'all gotta chill. Y'all crazy back there.
But they don't work the front, so they didn't do anything. So I just kind of left. And then I overheard the conversation, like somebody got off the shift at X time and someone wasn't coming in till Y time. So I was just out of luck. I came in the gap between shifts, and there's nothing they could do about it.
Calm down.
No!
Now, there's a couple of things that are interesting. So for those who have been living under a rock and they don't know, the fast food minimum went up from $16 to $20 as of April 1st, okay? And they started to interview a bunch of people just to see what their experiences are, business owners. One owner of El Pollo Loco franchise actually said he owns 6. And he says his costs went up because of this, $180,000 per store per year. just one guy, and he says, I can't handle it. So he says, as of today, I'm in the red. We're losing money. We're going to need to stop the boat from leaking by making changes, which means raising prices, laying people off, all that kind of stuff. And it keeps happening. There's also confusion about who it applies to still. People like, there's a Gabriella Campbell who owns an ice cream place in LA, and she's not quite sure. She had to write the assemblyman. All this is confusing. So they're trying to figure out what's going to happen. So they're losing money from litigation, trying to get paperwork signed and documents and hire lawyers and all this stuff. It's just chaos, right? No one knows what's happening. And so the big thing is that I think it's all going exactly like we predicted.
Going to have less workers. Somebody's going to get fired.
Right.
Or more automation. So again, less workers or less hours. Nobody gets overtime. Something has to like compensate. I mean, it's like people think they just pull minimum wage out of thin air, and it has to come from somewhere.
Another gentleman said, Brian Hom, he owns San Jose Vitality Bowl, and he said, one, customers are really mad at his $14 price for an acai bowl, which I understand because I've made an acai bowl for $3. So I understand the price. And then he basically said this: I'm happy for my employees getting the $20 minimum wage, but if we can't continue to have good sales, they may not have a job.
You about to lose your job. Get this thing.
This is the cycle that we've entered ourselves into, where the owners have no choice but to raise prices, but to lay people off. And it's just bad. And I don't see it. I don't see the solution.
I got some good news and I got some bad news, y'all. The bad news is that I'm shutting down the studio.
It sucks for the, I mean, there's so many different, everybody's.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Everybody's in a different boat. I know a lot of this applied to like the big chains, like the McDonald's of the world and the big franchises.
Sure.
And it's a lot of complaint from people is like, well, these are big corporations. They have lots of money. It's not, they can afford to pay this.
They know what they did. They know what they did for sure.
Like just McDonald's, because that's the thing that everybody knows. The McDonald's corporation is different from like the franchise owners. And so these are like individual people or individual businesses that, get everything from McDonald's and just put their, labels on it and all that kind of stuff. And so they don't have as much control as business owners or as franchisees.
Is this worth you losing your job?
They have their own kind of separate budget that they have to work with. It's not like, McDonald's down the street is not the McDonald's corporation per se. Right. So there's that disconnect, which is confusing to people because I think those people that you mentioned, the actual franchisees or the business owners, they are the ones who are getting it the worst.
Yes.
One because they can't really, they don't have control over their franchise fees and all that kind of stuff. They didn't advocate for this minimum wage that was just handed down to them. And then the third thing, which is like the killer, is that because they have to raise their prices to just survive, right, the people are getting mad at them.
Yeah, right.
And they had nothing to do with it.
We're supposed to be a family. What are you doing?
They had nothing to do with paying people like 20 to 30% higher than all other minimum wages. Like they're just caught in the middle with either shut down or raise prices. But it's in terms of like answering your questions, in terms of a solution, this is just skyrocketing the race to automation and AI and like everything. It's just every other industry now, just to keep prices reasonable. Will everybody lose their job? No, but will a good amount of people lose their jobs? Yeah.
Yep.
That whole automation thing is going to just take over. Maybe that was the end goal. I don't know.
Touchy. Careful. They're listening. They're listening. But yeah, it does seem like the politicians decided we want to win the battle and lose the war. So we'll see how that ends up. Interestingly enough, there seems to be a strange coincidence, some might call it, between this happening and the amount of restaurants that are shutting down this year. I mean, going completely under, right? And I was going to tell you all about that in another episode of the Life Circus podcast. But for now, we're going to wrap this one up because we're a little over time. So just make sure to support businesses as best you can. But if the prices are too high, you vote with your dollars, right? So you can say, hey, this is a bit much. I'm not paying $8 for not never. Not never am I paying $8 for a Whopper.
Not never.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to the store. I'm going to get myself some ground beef and some buns. I'm going to make a $2 Whopper that's going to be just as tasty, less preservatives. You know what I mean? So that's what we can do. But yes, make sure to stay tuned for another episode of the Life Circus podcast where we do talk about restaurants going under because it's kind of sad. A couple are hitting close to home, man. It's gonna get kind of teary-eyed in this one. We'll see. But make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with people who just want to say I told you so, I guess. That's exactly what happened in this situation with the fast food price increase, the minimum price increase. And if you are working in, I hate to say it, I don't want to rub it in people's faces. Should I even say it? I don't want to rub it in people's faces. But it does look like, especially if you are an owner of a franchise. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm going to get emotional again. If you are an owner of a franchise, raising prices, laying off people, you might lose your job.
You might lose your job. The person to Whopper is 99 cents. What happened now?
They took our job.